Lovable makes over $100 million in annual revenue, and it's one of the most popular vibe coding tools. But it's changing really quickly, and there are a lot of new features that you might not know about. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything that you should know about how to successfully vibe code. And if you watch until the end, you are going to have the knowledge to take advantage of every feature, especially the new ones that Lovable has to offer. And you can click the link in the description to go to Lovable and build alongside me. Let's jump in. The first thing to know about before you even start building in Lovable is you need to understand how this input field works. And there's a lot of buttons here that you should know about. So first of all, we have a few options here to get started with. You can take a screenshot. You can import from Figma, which is a really cool feature that allows you to take a Figma design and turn that into a real app. And then you can also connect to Supabase directly if you already have a Supabase project, but that's getting a little bit more advanced. This button here will allow you to actually speak to Lovable so that you can say your prompt, which can actually save a lot of time. There's other tools that I've used before called Whisper, for example, which works across your entire computer. But if you don't have that, you can press this button and it's nice to just be able to say out loud what you want to build, which can save time from typing. So let's go ahead and send an initial prompt that we want to build a fitness tracking app. And we're going to use this app. And with this app, I'm going to show you even more things that you need to know about Lovable. So number 2 is that now Lovable can actually create Shopify stores. So you can build a Shopify store, integrate with Shopify, and then have the backend and everything managed with Shopify, but build it in Lovable. So this is a really cool thing that you should know about with Lovable and really helpful if you want to build an e-commerce store. So while Lovable is building out our initial design, and on the left side, it's going to tell us what it's going to do, I'm going to talk through the next thing that you need to know, which is that you can sync your app to GitHub. So if you connect your GitHub account, which you can do in your settings and then under GitHub, connect to GitHub, and then you can connect your project. So by doing that, all of the code that is here in Lovable is going to be synced to GitHub. This is going to allow you to take your code off Lovable, and then you can continue building with something like a cursor. I have made some videos about this workflow in the past, so be sure to check out our channel for more videos like that. The fourth thing that you should know is that in Lovable, you have the ability to collaborate with other people. So you can invite other collaborators who can actually build on the same project. This is great if you're building in a team and you want more than one person to be able to build in one project at the same time. All right, here we are. We have our initial version of our app created. So let's go ahead and test it out. I'll click log workout, but nothing seems to be happening. So that brings me to the next tip, which if we go down, we can just go ahead and use the discuss mode. So this chat mode, also called discuss mode, is really helpful for debugging. So I could say when I click log workout, nothing happens. Why is that? With this feature, Lovable is going to chat back and forth with me and not actually write code. This is really helpful because sometimes if it just starts writing code right away, it could go down a wrong path. This way you can create a plan and then make the update with Lovable kind of almost as a collaborator. So here it created a plan. I think the plan looks good. So all you have to do is just click implement this plan. It's going to switch off of discuss mode or chat mode and then start actually implementing the update. So really helpful thing to know about Lovable. While it's making that update, I'm going to talk about the next thing that you should know, which is that with this button, you have access to all of the code from the project. So you can actually make direct edits here in the code base, view all the code. As I mentioned before, you can either sync to GitHub, but you also can just download the file here with this button. So really nice that you're able to do that if you are more technical and you want to know what's happening inside of your code. Now let's go ahead and quickly test it out. Great, now it's working. You can do morning run, log the workout, and now it is working successfully. Basic test there worked with this update. So that brings me to the next thing that you need to know about with Lovable. So now that we've made multiple features and multiple basically updates to the app. If you scroll back, so let's say this update didn't work or starting to go down the wrong path, you can always restore. So if you click this button, restore, we can also preview the version by clicking it to go back to what it looked like before. So they basically have their own version control built into Lovable. that you can go back and do that. So really helpful to know that. The next thing that you need to know is about Lovable Cloud. So Lovable Cloud is going to give you a built-in backend, add the ability to add LLM AI models to your app instantly without having to have an OpenAI key, and it's free to start, and then you can pay as you scale. So you can enable the cloud, but before we do that, there is a bonus thing that you need to know is that if you prefer to use your own Supabase project, they make it really small that you can press that Connect It Here button to actually connect to an existing Supabase project. But that means that you're going to be managing more things yourself. But the benefit is you're managing more things yourself. So you're not quite as connected to Lovable, which can be helpful if you don't want to be as locked in. But Lovable Cloud makes it really easy. So that's what we're going to do in this video. We're just going to enable the cloud. This is going to allow us to basically go from our demo here, where everything is in the front end, to an actual app with a backend, database storage, authentication, and everything ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and allow it for this project. So now that we're in Lovable Cloud, there are a few tips and things that you need to know about Lovable Cloud. There's an overview. As I mentioned before, you're going to be able to view the database. The tables are going to be created, which we're going to do in just a second. You can see the users. You can also see storage, any files that are saved, edge functions, which allow you to connect to external APIs, the AI functionality, which we're actually going to enable here to actually give us that. And we'll build in some fun AI features into this app. Secrets. So this is where if you have API keys to external services. So if you want to have your own AI connection as opposed to having this, but there's also other API keys to any other service that you might need. And then logs. If you're familiar with Supabase, it's basically everything you get in Supabase, but it's built right into Lovable, which is really nice. So we're going to go back to the preview. And what I want to do is basically say, let's use Lovable Cloud to add a database to the app. And then you're going to see what I mean, where it adds the database tables in a second. Actually, it's cool. The AI is saying because workout data is personal, they recommend adding authentication so everyone can have their own account. So I was going to do that as a separate thing, but we'll add it all together. So we're going to do authentication as well, where users can create an account and save data to their own profile. And now, like I mentioned, if we go into cloud, we go into databases, we can see we have a profiles table with username, avatar, fitness goal, and data there, and then workouts as well, which are going to be linked to the user table with the user ID. And then we're going to have this users table, which we'll start to see users as we test it and sign up. Okay, so it's done. So we can now test this out by signing up. So now here I've created an account, and let's go ahead and log a workout. It can be a morning run, log workout, and here it's there. And if we go to our database and check the database, we can go to our profiles. First of all, see the user is there, and then go to workouts. We can see the workout that we just created is now saved in our database. All right, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to actually integrate AI into the apps that you're building with Lovable using Lovable Cloud. So let's add an AI coach that gives advice after every workout. Now, one thing that I see is that it still has these default progress bars and weekly activity, even though I only have one workout. So that would be something that you could just ask the AI to change. So while it's adding this AI coach, I want to tell you another thing that you need to know. So if we go down to the left side, there's this edit button. Now I can basically, in a no-code way, point exactly to any element on the page. So just as an example, if I click recent workout, I can start typing text. So I could say here, for example, and then if I click save on the bottom, that would be saved. So a pretty cool thing that you should know about with this edit feature to be able to make very targeted changes. Okay, so now it says our AI coach is working. It's using the Google Gemini 2.5 Flash model, and there are multiple models available that you can ask for. So let's log another workout. Let's say morning run again. And then let's go ahead and log the workout. Now we're going to get some personalized advice. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, very simple integration, but just showing you what's possible and how easy and fun it is to add AI to your app. If we go back to Lovable Cloud, we go to AI, we can see we have one request. We use this model, and yeah, we can track it over time to see how much usage is coming through your AI cloud. So now we're going to talk about publishing. So you need to know a few things about publishing. So first of all, there is the security scan. What's actually great is Lovable does the security scan for you I can even click this to update it just to make sure it's doing the scan. There's something called leaked password protection disabled. We can enable it. You basically can go through and anything that it flags, you can ask it to update. So what's really great about this is going to help make sure that the app that you're putting out into the world is secure. Your data is secure. People can't access it if they're not supposed to. And that is one of the most important things about publishing an app, is making sure that it's secure. So Lovable makes that easier to do with their security scan. So let's say we've gone through that security scan and we're happy. Then you can go ahead and click publish. So Lovable will now publish it to this subdomain of Lovable, and you can customize this, or you can add your own domain. You also have the ability to change the icon and title and the share image. This is what shows up on iMessage, for example, if you share this URL. So all of that is customizable, so it doesn't have to seem like it's a Lovable app. And there's one more thing that you should know. In the settings of this project, you can go ahead and hide the Lovable badge. Now, you do have to be on a paid plan to do that, but this way we can fully customize it and white label it so that people don't know that it is a Lovable project. So now, if we go to that app, it's going to prompt us to log in because this is basically a new window. So I can sign in. And here, the workouts that we saved are still in the database under our account because that's the same account we were using here in the preview. So at this point, if you've watched this video, you have everything that you need to know about Lovable to get started and start building. Click the link in the description to go to Lovable and start building for free. And subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more free content like this. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.